What is up, guys? It's Swimmer here, back again with some more Great League action. Going to be doing a short video today with 5 battles. Um, and the reason I'm doing a video is just because of the half switch timer event associated with April Fools. Honestly, this has been a lot of fun. It makes for some pretty silly battles because basically every 2 charge moves you can switch out your Pokemon, and it means that switch advantage is a lot less important. Um, you have so many opportunities to do combo plays where you have energy stored on one Pokemon and then swap in and throw that charge move onto the next Pokemon. And then because you've thrown a charge move, you've now used up almost half of the switch timer, so you can get out of an unfavorable matchup pretty quickly, even if somebody swaps in. And it's actually been a lot of fun. I definitely think that it is too short for, long-term battles, so I wouldn't want to see Niantic make this change permanent or anything like that. But it would be really interesting actually to have it for like one of the weeks where we've got a restricted cup and or something like that, because it's like an entirely different style of play. It's so interesting, and I'm actually really enjoying it. So let's go ahead and get right into the battles. I'm going to be using team of Castform, Alolan, Ninetales, and Froslass. I've used this team a lot, but because of the switch timer being short, I wanted to use a team that I'm familiar with since enough of the rest of the game is going to be different, but my strategy does change a fair bit. So let's go ahead and get into the battles. So in particular, what changes the most about my strategy, I think, is that, so generally when I say swap into Froslass, I'm happy to just take a shield and then let Froslass go down. Um, in this format, I tend to try and keep Froslass alive because it's got the hardest hitting charge moves that are going to apply the most shield pressure throughout the match. So Medicham, going to go ahead and swap right away into Froslass, and my opponent is staying in, which is pretty good for me. I'm going to go for the Shadow Ball here. For some reason, it doesn't hit the charge move there, but that's totally fine with me. I can charge up some more, and then go for the Shadow Ball. I successfully called the Ice Punch bait, which is really good, and my opponent just lets us go. So we're in a good spot. Mandibuzz comes in. I'm okay with this matchup, but my switch timer is up, and I want to see what they've got in the back. So I'm going to go into my Castform here, and draw out whatever they've got in the back. They do have a Venusaur, so this is totally fine. I've got 2 ice types in the back, so no big deal here. Certainly a double-shielded Alolan Ninetales would be a reasonable win condition. Going to throw a Weather Ball, going to throw another Weather Ball, and this is going to finish up the switch timer, so I'm going to be able to swap again into likely my Froslass here. Yep, we do go into Froslass. We just barely don't make it to the charge move, so I am going to shield this because I have the Avalanche now, which is going to either take the last shield or get this Mandibuzz very low. We do get the Mandibuzz low, and we're almost able to farm down, not quite. I'm just going to let it go. I can come in with the Castform now and look to farm this down. Come in with Castform. I'm going to make this Venusaur throw some energy. They do throw right here. And then I can come in with a Alolan Ninetales and farm down and shield whatever their charge move is. I know they've got basically 100 energy, but this Sludge Bomb I can just shield and Powder Snow down without any problems. So good game there. Um, the Ice types were really, really good against their backline. They had Mandibuzz and Venusaur in the back, so uh, Froslass and Alolan Ninetales love to see that. Um, but the switch timer, man, just so fast. Can get in and out of matchups really quick, and it makes for some really interesting gameplay opportunities. All right, getting into this next battle here, we've got Castform into Talonflame. This is exactly where I want to see it. So they throw one Incinerate and then swap out into Bastiodon, and this is a nightmare for me because I need Castform to take out both of these Pokemon. I got a little bit of stutter lag there, but fortunately not too bad. Able to get to another Weather Ball here, and I'm just going to stay in and shield whatever this Bastiodon decides to throw. So they're likely going to throw the Stone Edge here. I know that Castform is going to be really important against this team, so I'm just going to shield and look to farm down. We are able to farm down. It's a Galvantula. I should have swapped into Froslass here, but I go into um, Alolan Ninetales. Totally fine because I am going to be able to get to this Weather Ball pretty quickly and really start to apply some pressure onto that Talonflame. I am going to go ahead and shield, knowing that my switch timer is almost up, so I'm going to bank this Weather Ball and then go into my Castform, catch the Incinerate, and throw the Weather Ball here myself. Catch the Flame Charge, not the Incinerate, throw the Weather Ball myself. We successfully catch and draw a shield from my opponent. They're trying to farm us down, and they do manage to. We're just barely not able to Water Gun down, but they've got probably another charge move ready there. Come in now with the Froslass, and this discharge is going to hurt. And we're just going to go for an Avalanche here to burn that last shield, and then what we're going to do is look to swap in the middle of the Volt Switch into my Ninetales and throw the Weather Ball. We are able to throw the Weather Ball here. I'm really hoping this KOs. It does not KO. That could be game over. If this Talonflame has a move, I'm screwed, but if it doesn't, I should be able to win. We are able to Powder Snow down the Galvantula, and then Talonflame didn't have a new move, so we can Powder Snow down as well, and that is going to be a good game. So really, really close match. I thought when that Galvantula lived with 1 HP, I was going to lose the match because I thought the Talonflame had a Flame Charge, but looks like they needed one more Incinerate. So really, really close match, but we were able to come out on top there. Right. Getting into the next matchup here, we have Castform into Mew. So I think this is actually fine to stay in this matchup. I should be throwing Weather Ball right away here because with the reduced switch timer, it's very likely that they just throw Wild Charge and Veil, and you get to Wild Charge at the same time. They go into Umbreon, I can go into my Ninetales heal. This is really good for me to get this matchup here. And I'm just going to go straight for the Gleam. I want to get this Umbreon low if I can, so that my other Pokemon can potentially handle it. We do get a shield. Not going to shield the last resort myself. And I'm fine to stay in this matchup. I'm expecting them to switch out. They're building up a lot of energy here. This is likely going to be another last resort. Totally fine. I can tank it, no problem. And just waiting for the swap. This was too early to be another last resort. Definitely just going to be a foul play. So it is a foul play. We're able to get to a Dazzling Gleam here. This will do a ton of damage, and they're not likely to double shield their Umbreon. They don't double shield. We can go into our Castform now, and it's a Venusaur in the back. So this is going to be pretty tricky, to be honest. We're going to have to stall the clock here by throwing a couple Weather Balls. So I'm going to throw another Weather Ball here. And then I'm really hoping that my opponent decides to throw pretty soon. So I'm going to go and swap into my Alolan Ninetales there, but we don't catch. Good patience by my opponent. Honestly, I should have probably expected that they weren't going to throw right away because I wasn't close to another Weather Ball. So we're going to shield up the Frenzy Plant here, though, and then look to get as much damage off as we can. This Frenzy Plant is really going to hurt. They do come into Mew now, and we can... I kind of derped there. I could have thrown the Avalanche, but they were definitely going to shield it. And as it happens, they managed to beat me to the charge move on the Castform anyways, so definitely wouldn't have won. Plus, a Weather Ball wouldn't have been enough to KO. So even though I didn't, I could have thrown that last charge move, wouldn't have made a difference, but very well played by my opponent. So Castform into Marowak, this is definitely where we want to see it. No matter what they swap into, I'm going into Ninetales. They come into Surfetched, I'm definitely going into Ninetales here. I want to make sure that I avoid that matchup against the Marowak. Leaf Blade is going to hurt, but honestly, it's just less health for Marowak to farm. Going to be able to go ahead and hit the Weather Ball here, and then we CMP tie to this next move. I am going to go ahead and shield. I want to force them to double shield if they want to win switch here. And so this Weather Ball will definitely take them out. If they don't shield, they don't shield. So I'm just going to stay in. There's a Galvantula coming in. I need to let myself get farmed down there because I need to maintain the alignment of my um, Castform onto the Marowak. So I'm going to go ahead and shield this Discharge because they're probably going to swap out. They do swap out here. I'm going to go ahead and come into my Castform. Very important that I did not throw the energy on my Froslass there because Castform can win this matchup no problem with the energy disadvantage. So I really need to maintain that energy. I'm going to go for a Weather Ball now. And we're in a pretty good spot here because this is basically going to KO, does KO. We're able to get to another Weather Ball, and this is going to force them to shield. They're going to start to throw their Volt Switch. When they do, I'm going to swap. They're starting to throw. I swap and throw the Avalanche. I wanted to make sure I swapped in the middle of the animation so I could definitely get off the Avalanche, and that is going to definitely be enough to KO the Galvantula, and that's a good game. So storing that energy on the Froslass was very important there, and really that matchup was all about alignment. I had great alignment maintaining my Castform on that Marowak, and that was enough to win the game for me, basically. All right, Castform into Toxicroak. Reasonable matchup, but I'm going to swap out into Froslass to see what they've got in the back. It is a Sableye coming in. So definitely going to look to throw an Avalanche here and to force a shield pretty early. And my opponent decides to throw right away, or more or less right away, so I am going to let this go. And now I'm actually going to come into my Ninetales. Normally I would come back into Castform, but with it being Toxicroak in the lead, it's really not a big deal. Each of my Pokemon sees the Toxicroak. So I am going to shield up the Power Gem, recognizing that this wasn't a Purified Sableye was key there to make sure that I knew I had to shield. And then we're going to look to aggressively farm this Sableye down. They're definitely going to be throwing a foul play here. Wasn't enough for another Power Gem. And we can farm all of this down for about 75 energy. Stunfisk is coming in. We can go ahead and go for a Weather Ball. A Weather Ball does some nice damage. Toxicroak coming back in. Going to go straight for a Weather Ball on the Castform. Going to have to shield up this charge move. I think it's going to do more damage than anything else. And I think I make a mistake here. So I throw the Weather Ball. And then I'm like, oh, my switch timer's up. I should go ahead and throw another Weather Ball. But I should have just farmed down with Castform there. That was definitely the play. Just farm down with Castform, have loaded energy to threaten this Stunfisk, at least take the last shield. Because I would have had basically 2 Weather Balls worth of energy almost on Ninetales, which would have been quite threatening. And I could have been dealing a ton of Water Gun damage with my Castform. So this Earthquake is basically going to KO. Going to leave me with like 1 health or something. Yeah. Barely doesn't KO, and then they're able to take us out. But that was for sure a winnable game if I just stayed in and farmed down the Toxicroak with Castform. They definitely weren't going to get to another Sludge Bomb. The Mud Bomb wouldn't have dealt enough damage even if they got to it. Bit of a misplay on my part, but man, with these switch timers coming up so quick, you got to really be able to think quickly. You have less time to decide what your win con is, so it's definitely a really interesting game mode. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.